History can once again be made tonight as it was last night as our White Sox left-handed ace attempts to break the team's single-season strikeout record. Watch history unfold next, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet Plus presents White Sox baseball. It's Alexi Ramirez, Melky Cabrera, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with J.D. Martinez and the Detroit Tigers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the final 3 games of the season. First of 3 against these Tigers. And, of course, we saw some history made last night, but hopefully we'll see some more tonight. Chris Sale on the bump.
Chris Sale needs 3 strikeouts, and he's going to get them, I believe, in the second inning. So stay tuned, especially in the second. Sale 6-5 against Detroit, and the big left-hander is going to set a record tonight, a record that's held since 1908. He's going to fan his 270th. It's going to come early in the ball game, and Chris has just had a remarkable year. Doesn't have the record to show for it, but he's had all the other numbers.
Well, there's 2 slugging stars that are going to be out there.
J.D. Martinez, one of them, and he's the guy for Detroit who's really been surprising in that 38 home runs and 101 driven in. If you factor in Cabrera and Victor Martinez, you have to think that these guys would be leading the division. Hasn't worked out that way as both of their stars have had some injury problems, but not J.D. He's had a magnificent year. Jose Abreu has been terrific. This is his 30th home run. It came a few nights ago. Then he topped it off last night with a drive through the left side, driving in runs 100 and 101. That puts him in the club with Albert Pujols. There's only 2 of them lifetime, and I think Jose's a pretty happy man. Quite obviously, he's got it all behind him now, and let's see what happens tonight.
Well, it's almost unbelievable to have an elite club of just 2, and he certainly is there with Pujols. So Chris Sale's night to shine. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's a very chilly night here, 57 degrees, and once again very windy as it's been on this entire homestand. So the Tigers come to town for the final series of the year. The Tigers without a couple of their regular stars. Miguel Cabrera not playing. Victor Martinez not playing. And for Chris Sale, he's pretty happy about the news about Victor Martinez, who's at .471 against him lifetime. So Chris going out with the idea, as he goes out with every game, and that's to win the game. Secondary is something that's just going to happen because he's Chris Sale, and that is he's going to set the all-time White Sox strikeout record. So let's take a look at how the Tigers are going to line them up tonight. Rajai Davis, who's also done well against Chris Sale, leading it off, and it's Andrew Romine. J.D. Martinez, who's had a huge year. Nick Castellanos, the last 10 games, has been very good. Then it's Jeffrey Marte, James McCann, Dixon Machado, Josh Wilson, and Anthony Gose in center field and hitting ninth. The defense and how they'll line up behind Chris Sale, Trace Thompson in left field, Adam Eaton in center, J.B. Shuck is in right tonight. Then it's Tyler Saladino, Alexi Ramirez, Carlos Sanchez, and Adam LaRoche around the infield, with Tyler Flowers getting the nod behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale. He's 12-11 this year. His ERA a touch below 3.5, 267 strikeouts in 201 2/3 innings. And the opponent's hitting just 234, which is a very good number. The umpires for the game tonight: Doug Eddings behind the plate, Adrian Johnson at first, Chad Whitson is at second, and the crew chief, Bill Miller, is at third. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet Plus. So happy you could join us as Rajai Davis gets set to lead it off. Rajai has had pretty good luck against Chris. 18 at-bats, 8 hits, and there's first pitch strike. Rajai at .261, 8 homers, 30 knocked in on the season. That one at 97, so he's coming right on out blazing. Tigers hitting at .271 as a club. And that slider down low. Just did get a piece of it. This is the 17th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 16, we have won 7 of them. He gone.
98 in the first inning. Chris Sale doesn't usually get there, but he's out there with a lot of determination tonight. High heat, way out of the zone, and Rajai just overmatched in that at bat.
Well, watching Brady last night set some history, so to speak. I think certainly did not hurt Chris Sale tonight.
No. Very determined young man.
So here is Andrew Romine. He's the first baseman. And that evens the count at 1. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. There's a little 3-hopper. 2 out.
Could very well be the way that Chris Sale has come out throwing the baseball. Robin has already told him, get your record, maybe get in 5, and we can call it a season. Of course, it depends on how Chris feels and what Chris wants to do, because at this point of his career, what he means to this team, he probably gets to determine that himself.
JD Martinez, 38 homers, 101 driven in. This young man having himself yet another good year.
This one a special year for JD. Career highs in home runs and runs batted in.
Well, I'm gonna bet you a dozen golf balls he surpasses his home runs and RBIs next season.
Not when they lead him off.
I've got to reframe that. A new dozen. A new dozen.
How about a refurbished dozen?
No.
A refurbished dozen and a half.
No. A new dozen. That pitch is downstairs, so he walks him. And runner at first, 2 down, and that'll bring up Nick Castellanos. Hitting at .259, 15 homers and 72 knocked in.
We do know that Nick can hit the ball down pretty well. He has a little bit tougher time with the letter high fastball.
Yeah, you keep the ball down on him and you're cruising for a bruising.
Straight change. Straight change at 88 and about a foot outside.
That one at 97.
He's tormented the left-handers this year, hitting .364. Those are pretty strong numbers.
And he's still just a very young man at 23 years old.
He had a hard time getting the hands out on that 97 inside.
No. That's blocked nicely by Tyler.
This would be a little late, I think.
He was just trying to knock that shot down.
Keep it low, keep it out of the wind.
Yeah. 1 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. And a full count to Castellanos.
Marte in the on deck circle.
He gone. That's 2 of them. After having a bliss, the Tigers nothing and our guys coming to bat.
That's Alexei Ramirez. Melky Cabrera, who's torched the Tigers. Trace Thompson, J.B. Shuck. Adam LaRoche, Tyler Flowers, Carlos Sanchez, and Tyler Saladino rounding it out. The defense, and out that lineup behind Alfredo Simon, who's 2-0 against our club. It's Davis, Gose, and Martinez in the outfield with Castellanos, Machado, Wilson, and Romine in the infield. James McCann behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Alfredo Simon. 13-11 this year, an ERA that's way up there. 196 hits and 179 innings. So he started out red hot. Lately, he hasn't been near as hot.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As first pitch to Adam Eaton. Adam at 284, 14 homers, 54 knocked in. He's 5 for 9 with a homer against Simon. Simon, a big man, 6'6", 265. That's a fair ball, and that's going to be a base hit. It may have been served better right there just to give it a shot and let it go.
There's no way that Castellanos could have made this play. It doesn't really matter what he does. He was back a little bit further than he probably should have been at third base. And he comes on, tries to make it. Really no chance for this. He has, however, improved his defense tremendously. He only made 10 errors this year. A radical departure over what happened last year.
He's made some really good plays against us this season. And here's Alexei at 250, 10 homers, 61 driven in. Takes first pitch strike. Sox come in hitting at 251 as a club with a 4.00 ERA.
McCann throws pretty well. And the Tigers believe that this is their catcher for quite some time.
Well, if Alex Avila is healthy, McCann's going to have to wait a while. As that's high into center field, Anthony Gose. Pitchers really love to throw to Alex Avila.
Alex Avila's a good catcher, but the biggest problem that's been recurrent is his ability to stay healthy for any length of time. He's played in 66 games this year.
And you have. We've said it before, but maybe for some of the Sox fans who did not see it. We've never seen a catcher take as much abuse behind the plate with foul tips and wrong spots. I mean, it's just been actually eerie.
We always talked about the fact that if he got the same type of beating against many of the other teams that he did against us,
he couldn't.
It's no wonder why his action has been limited.
No, there's no way in the world he could stay in the game. Yes, here's Cabrera. Melky 2 for 12. Gets back in. No, McCann is a good-looking young catcher. They're one of the few clubs that's set in catching.
Yeah, they've got some good ones. They have Holiday, who's a pretty decent catcher.
Holiday looks terrific against us.
They've got Avila, we've talked about, and they have McCann, who's got a chance to be outstanding. He throws very well, by the way.
In the dirt. Safe.
There goes a wild pitch, and Simon has made his 13th. Again, makes it closer than it should have been. That throws on the mark, but Adam able to beat the play.
Pick him up, Melky. High pop up. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to click tonight. DiMaggio, our director and crew, they went with Adam LaRoche. He's going with J.B. Shuck. And Peter Winfrey, and Tracy Williams and I, my good buddies from Spectrios Institute for Low Vision. We're going to go with Adam Eaton, who's at second base. And here's Trace Thompson. Trace at 310, 5 homers, 16 knocked in. Takes that pitch inside. Took that pitch nicely.
And like every guy sitting above 300 with just a few games to go, Trace is battling to keep that batting average with a 3 in front of it.
Outfield for the most part straight up, spaced about equidistant. Drops the hook on him.
Pretty good overhand curveball. Not sure how much action Miguel Cabrera is going to see. He's trying to win his 4th batting title in the last 5 years. He leads Xander Bogaerts by 12 points. Miggy hitting .334, Bogaerts .322 coming in.
Well, Miguel, simply put, is the best hitter in the game. And that'll retire the side, get it off the end of the bat after 1, no score.
Not call the organization. Ed Walsh started at 49. He only pitched 464 innings. Chris Sale only 201. And one more strikeout, and Chris Sale will move by Ed Walsh as the all-time strikeouts leader for the Chicago White Sox.
Yep. Chris, who's worked in 202 innings. Big Ed, over 400.
464 with 42 complete games. 42 complete games.
Well, you only had one starter. You had no relievers. What are you going to do?
Well, he appeared in 66 of them, so I guess he just wanted a little more work.
That ball hit hard. And it is 1-0. Marte just takes it out of here for his 4th home run.
Four and 11 on the power numbers for Marte. Forward to home run replay. This gets a fastball up and away. And Marte able to turn on it and hit it hard.
So here's McCann. Takes that pitch way outside. Jeffrey Marte. One and one to count. If you're the on-deck hitter and there's a right-handed hitter in the box, you better hang loose. Here, an awful lot of check swing foul balls off Chris Sale. What was that?
That was an Ephus pitch. Maybe that was in honor of Ed Walsh. I'm sure he had one of those.
Oh. Close.
Peeled out to Adrian Johnson.
Going the slider right here, and he gone. He gone. Slider. And a new record is he's going to get an ovation from the fans in attendance. A new White Sox franchise record of 207 strikeouts for Chris Sale. So more history. History last night and history this evening.
He freezes him on the backdoor slider. And McCann becomes number 270 as the fans on their feet.
And Chris's teammates as well in that dugout. Well, all the great pitchers that the White Sox have had in this great franchise history, as Machado drills a single.
Chris Sale passed Ed Walsh, Ed Walsh, Ed Walsh, Ed Walsh, and of course he passed himself back in 2013 to get to 270.
So Machado.
That goes as a pass ball on Tyler Flowers.
Dixon Machado at second. We'll check that. As that is in there to right field. So Wilson with a base hit. And here's Anthony Goes. Anthony at 253, 5 homers, 26 knocked in. And for the left-handed hitter on a cold night here in the Windy City, this is not exactly what you're looking for.
No, and he's the lone left-hander in the lineup, so this should be interesting.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it. Close play that they turn it on a speedster. They get a run. They lead it 1-0.
In the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Jimmy Shuck, Adam LaRoche, and Tyler Flowers. They want to send out a big shout out. Big thank you so much. Bernard Young and all the great folks at Atlantic Aviation who handle all of our flights in and out of Chicago. They do such a wonderful job. And Bernard, thanks again, buddy. You and your crew are really something. You're here at the ballpark tonight. Nice people. There is a strike. 1-1 to count.
Sox fans, grab your costumes and come to the ballpark for Countdown to Halloween tomorrow. Receive specially priced tickets. Visit whitesox.com/boo.
Here's Adam. Close pitch, didn't get it. Adam at 209, 12 homers, 44 driven in. 3 for 15 lifetime off Alfredo Simon. There's a strike, 3-1. Two down. Castellanos will now go back to third base. And here's Tyler Flowers.
Talk to Tyler about his knee. He's going to have off-season surgery. It's going to be done in the Atlanta area.
It amazes me that every catcher doesn't have bad knees.
Most of them, before it's over, do and wind up with knee replacements.
He hung it. He hit it. Stay fair. Look at that wind.
That wind knocked that ball back probably 40 or 50 feet.
Wow.
No wind, and that's long gone, and a fair ball. But with that wind, it just swatted it down and took it into foul territory. He hit this ball pretty hard. But unfortunately,
he hit it hard enough to get it out of here.
He hit it too high.
But I'll tell you what, that wind, you can just see it from up here. I just grabbed it. Yeah.
I think Tyler he's ready to touch them all.
That's popped up. Wind has been a factor in this homestand as that's caught by Romine. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the third. 1-0 Detroit.
Telephone in Hills, Iowa. And we'd also like to thank Aurelio's Pizza for providing our crew with their pregame meal tonight.
Top of the order here in the top of the third, Davis, Romine, and Martinez. He struck out, leading off the ball game. ball hit right at him. You know, we hadn't seen him make one bad read. Not yet.
No, he's pretty good, and it doesn't matter which outfield position you play him. He sees the ball very well off the bat and gets good jumps.
Romine grounded out to second. Now he's going to ground out to third. 2 down. And want to send out our condolences to the family and friends of the great White Sox fan, Marianne Wagner. A wonderful mom she was, a special friend to all those who encountered her. And she will be sorely missed by all, especially her prized Chicago White Sox. Marianne Wagner. Watched every game. That one at 95. JD walked back in the first. That wind howling around home plate. Two-two pitch. Just off the corner. He gone. They had the zone. And we trail it 1-0. Season finale as our Sox look to end 2015 with a win over these Tigers. Coverage begins at 1:30 with White Sox pregame live presented by Orland Park Toyota on Comcast Sportsnet. Carlos Sanchez, Tyler Saladino, then back to the top of the order with Adam Eaton. Carlos at 226, 5 homers, 31 knocked in. there's the base hit. Our second hit. And here's Tyler.
He's able to just ease this one through the right side. It's an off-speed pitch by Simon. He's going to throw a lot of ground balls. He's got pretty good sink on just about everything.
So here's Saladino with 227, 4 homers, 20 knocked in. Takes the bunt, takes the ball. And if you're just joining us, Chris Sale has set a new franchise record for strikeouts. He has 4 tonight. We needed 3. Fouls that one back. Good job. That hit him. That's the pitch to get hit with. So the first 2 men aboard.
Yeah, might as well catch it just off the right bicep. Looked like it got a good piece of him. And a chance to break through against Simon.
So here's Adam. He had an infield single. Takes first pitch strike. There are only 2 active pitchers who own their club records for strikeouts. Chris Sale and Chris Archer of Tampa Bay.
Clayton Kershaw is knocking at the door of 300 strikeouts.
He's got a long way to go to get that club record.
Oh, he's not going to get the club record. he won't get that.
He's got a long way to go. They don't have enough days in the year.
I don't think anybody has fanned 300 since 2002, so it's been a long time, and Kershaw's just magnificent.
Andrew Romine in close. Now we'll move back with the 2 strikes. That's trouble. That's going to find it. So here comes one. And they're going to wave Tyler around. And they get Adam Eaton a second, but 2 runs cross the plate, and we lead it 2-1.
He has 55 and 56 for Adam. And he rounds second base, and they're able to cut him down. That's one of the things we probably like to tighten up somewhat for next year. And take it off base, especially with nobody out. Romine, a middle infielder by trade, moves him back of him, then gives him a face full of mitt and gets him out.
So Peter Winfrey and Dr. Tracy Williams picked a click. Adam Eaton 2 for 2 with a couple of ribbies, and there's a ground ball down to Castellanos. 2 down. And here's Melky. Takes that one high and wide. They mentioned also the Sox have broken their franchise record for a pitching staff this year. As that's caught, but the 2-run double by Anaheim and his 2-1 good guy.
January 29th through the 31st. Be there. You can win prizes. Meet everybody. Tickets are on sale now. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/SoxFest. Some good editing.
Right here, top of the fourth inning, Sox lead at 2-1. You know, and it's hard to believe after the season we've had. But the reservations for Sox Fest next year are ahead of what they were last year.
I think it's terrific.
It is. I mean, it's just it's amazing. It amazed me when Bob Grimm told us that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be obviously some moves made between now and then, probably a lot of them, and you would think that once again it's going to be a sellout.
Here's Nick Castellanos. Nick struck out. That tied Big Ed Walsh. And the count 0-2. We'll give you two scenarios here. Even though you weren't a hitter,
yes,
you will understand them very, very much so. First one, man on third, less than 2 outs. Put that one aside now.
Okay.
Second scenario. You go to the plate against a guy like Chris Sale, and you do not want to strike out. What are you going to do?
I'm going to choke up on the bat. I'm going to get up on the plate, and the first fastball I see, I'm going to put in play.
Perfect.
And there
you said it. Choke up on the bat.
That's it. That's why I hit 100.
The reason I presented that is that's out number one. Is Joey Votto is trying to go for reaching base in 48 consecutive games to tie the Cincinnati club record set by Pete Rose. Now, you'll be able to see this on MLB. Especially if you got the app, you can pull it up. He's trying to get on base, and look where he's holding that bat.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I think he chokes up most of the time.
He does.
Yeah.
But this time,
he's choked up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I know he's got a base hit, so I know he reached base again. And an interesting story is unfolding, and that is Cincinnati is leading Pittsburgh, and the Cubs are leading Milwaukee. If they both hold up, there's a very good chance, or at least an outside chance, the Cubs could wrest home field advantage from the Pirates in that one-and-done game. Cincinnati leading 4-1. Cubs leading 1-0. That Cincinnati game in the middle of the 6th at Pittsburgh. Cub game in the middle of the 3rd at Milwaukee.
Well, I'll say one thing. I don't care. They can play at Pittsburgh. They can play at Wrigley. They can play at O'Hare. They can play at Midway. I don't care where they play if Jake Arrieta's on the mound.
He's going to be on the mound. He's on the mound tonight, and he will be on the mound.
They can play in Little Wissy, Georgia. Yeah. If he's on the mound, they're going to win.
Well, he's been unbelievable. 10-0 in his last 11 starts.
And he's probably going to go against a guy almost as good as he is.
Garrett Cole is definitely going to go.
Yeah.
Because Liriano did not have a great night tonight. Pittsburgh only has 1 hit through 5 innings.
McCann. Oh, and 2 the count. Jake Arrieta had the best stuff we have seen all year long. And maybe best we've seen in a couple of years. From a right-hander.
Second half of this season, nobody's been able to touch him. .80 ERA in the second half.
He gone. 1, 2, 3 inning. 5 strikeouts.
The day after the Sox score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off your entire online order at papajohns.com with the promo code SOX5. That's at all participating Papa John's locations. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for our guys. 1-1, 3 hits, no errors for their guys. They have a solo home run by Marte. We have a 2-run double by Adam Eaton.
Hispanic Heritage Night tonight. That's why you see some very fine sombreros in the crowd.
Nice crowd on hand.
Not bad for as cold and windy
You better
as it
believe
is.
it. And, nice tribute to a large portion of this crowd for Chris Sale. And seeing some history being made. By 2 of our young stars. Last night, Abreu. Tonight, Chris Sale. Two and 2 the count. Trace went out to third. Wilson's got him. He's got a nice approach to the ball. He's got an approach a little bit similar to what J.D. Martinez has got. And I didn't talk with J.D. about that. I talked to him about something else. But I got a feeling, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow, or Sunday I should say, that I think the approach that he made that pitch is what turned the corner for him.
He's a completely different player now than when he was with Houston. I mean, JD was a decent player with Houston, but he's a dominant player now.
Yeah, he's a force.
Yeah.
JB grounded out softly. Second. Now he's going to ground out softly to short for out number 2. So here's Adam. He grounded out softly to second. Got Castellanos out there in short right field as he takes that pitch down low. That is popped up. And that'll be tired of the side. Quick 1-2-3 inning, couple of ground outs and a pop up.
Using hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan, you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Here's Dixon Machado. He wrapped a sharp single into left field. Chris with 5 strikeouts, no walks, giving up the 1 run on 2 hits. But the 1 run came on that home run by Jeffrey Marte. Nice.
Well, that was a good job of getting rid of it when he was floating to his left. Wanted to get rid of the ball quickly.
Great recognition he has. Yes. Saladino has great recognition.
Well, right here, he realizes that this ball has moved a little bit more to the left than he thought, so he quickly gets rid of it and throws him out by plenty, as it turns out.
Well, the key right there too was also, you saw where he caught the ball. He actually caught the ball. He knocked it down with his glove into his hand, so he didn't have to go in and dig it out. He knew he had to get there quick.
Been a pleasure to see a lifetime shortstop move to third base.
Yeah, watch how he just knocks it down into his right hand here with his glove. All in one motion. Poof. Two down. 9 in a row retired by Chris.
Ghost had a chance to push across another run, but grounded into a double play to end that second inning.
That's into left field and over the head of Trace. So the double.
He hits his ball awfully hard. It's a low fastball, and if he got it up in the air, the wind would have knocked him down. But he kept it down, 1 hop out of the ballpark.
That's his 24th double. He has 7 triples.
He came over from Toronto. It looks like the Tigers made a pretty good trade.
Yeah, they did. Takes that pitch off the plate down. 2-1 to Rajay Davis, who struck out, and then he lined very hard to Thompson in left field.
Normally it's Ghost and Davis that platoon in center field.
That's at the bottom of the zone. 2-2. Cards trying to come back. They trail Cincinnati 4-2. Bases loaded. Nobody out.
And Pittsburgh, as they know, with Jake Arrieta going for the Cubs against Milwaukee, this is one they best win.
High in the right center field, and wind just takes it way over and towards right. Meanwhile, we're halfway home, leading 2-1. Tyler Flowers will lead it off here in our half of the fifth inning as Chris Sale has a 2-1 lead. Tyler fouled out to first. And base hit now between first and second.
He takes this one out away and does exactly as he should. Takes it right through the right side.
So here's Carlos. He started off that 2-run third with a base hit between first and second.
Fortunately, that screen shielded Hermy. Nice idea, but he allowed that ball to get too far in and then fouled it right toward the dugout. That's good.
Well, McCann can see those.
He's doing a good job.
He's doing a terrific job. Although there are some guys who can see it. When I played center field, I could see in day games the catcher signs.
That's pretty good. You got a lot of pitchers on the mound. The reason why a lot of catchers paint their fingernails is pitchers can't see it from 60 feet 6 inches, let alone 300 feet.
Well, we had one here that couldn't see it from 60 feet 6 inches. As he gets him. So 1 out. That's the first strikeout for Simon. Jake Peavy couldn't see it.
Couldn't see him at all.
Well, he had to get some help.
Yeah.
Dana with a pretty good swing underneath it, and the count 0-1. Dollar was hit by a pitch, a breaking ball, and later scored. I played with a lot of guys, though. It was who wore glasses, and then when they got to the ballpark, they took them off. Because glasses back in those days weren't the macho thing. Softly hit Castellanos and rack him up. We'll go to the 6th. We lead it 2-1. Return is Trevor Daly and our Hawks Battle of Stars starting at 7:30 on CSN Plus. No, back in those days, there were umpires who used to wear glasses to the park. When the game started, they took them off.
Yeah, that was pretty common.
Oh, yeah, very common. Then the breakthrough came probably in, let me see, probably around late 60s, early 70s. They started to wear them. And contacts came into play. Then they started wearing contacts.
Well, you see Tyler Flowers, his fingernails are painted. So Chris Sale can see him a lot better. Or can see him at all.
I believe Johnny Roseboro was the first guy to start doing that with the Dodgers. How's that back?
Pretty good idea. They used to use tape, but then
that's what he used.
Then catchers would complain that they have a hard time throwing the baseball.
That's what Roseboro used, tape. Just didn't sound, macho enough to have catchers using fingernail polish.
No, but it's very colorful.
That was pitch number 75. He gone.
On the pitch tracks, we'll show you a good slider down and out of the zone. And Romine, a strikeout victim. Yet another strikeout victim.
That is 6. And here is JD, a walk and a strikeout.
Had a good cut at that one.
Yes,
that was
did.
right down the middle. Just
Well,
they didn't want to throw it there.
That approach. I used to call it the Pinella approach. Keep your behind underneath you as you make your approach to the pitch. Don't let it go out again. He gone.
An athlete's defined by the desire to be active and continue doing the things you love. Visit Athletico.com and start defining your pain-free inner athlete today. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
Greasy stayed low, kept his glove down, was able to make a beautiful play right there for Alexei. And that'll retire the side.
Prior and during White Sox games. For more information, call 312-674-1000.
Top of the order here in the bottom of the 6th. Adam Eaton, who is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a 2-run double. And takes first pitch strike. Some interesting notes on the second half surge by our Sox. A breakdown on where Sox players rank among American League second halfers. Still has second half leaders. Average. Adam Eaton is 10th with a second half average of 330. Doubles. Melky Cabrera is first with 23. Abreu is tied for 6th with 19. Watch out. That hit it. He didn't want to hit him.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it's the defense of Alexei Ramirez on a one-hop rocket. He picks it, Throws him out easily after that. Gets Chris Sale out of the inning.
With the exception of the diving plays, you'll see most of the really good plays in the infield made when the infielder's on the ground. And one reason is their eye level is down and they see the ball extremely well. The lower the eye level goes down, the better you see it. There's some other second half thing. Run scored. Adam Eaton is 5th with 51. Extra base hits. Abreu is 6th with 35. Now here's something that's neat. Second half ERA leaders in the American League. Matt Albers tied for first with 1.17, and he's tied for first with Dan Jennings at 1.17.
Pretty good run for an extended period of time out of the pen.
And strikeouts, of course. Chris Sale is first with 110 second half strikeouts. So with all that going on, there's no way in the world we should be where we're at. But we are, and it is what it is.
Simon doing it very economically to this point, only 58 pitches. He's thrown a lot of ground balls, and most of these outs, except for one in the infield.
Bit of a gap out there in right center. And that's in the hole. Softly hit, but it had some eyes.
Breaks his bat on an inside fastball. Alexei able to ease it through the left side between Castellanos and Machado.
So 2 on, nobody out, and here's Melky. Melky has popped up to second and popped up to short. Burley's going after his 15th win. He left in the 8th inning, leading 8-4 with a man aboard.
Got to like his chances. Melky's on top, 2-0. Has to try to make Simon get the ball up because he's thrown a lot of ground balls with a good sinker. Yeah, swung at one down, and that ball was out of the zone.
Three and 1 to count. Keep it going, Melky. And the count goes full to Cabrera. Miami at Philly, postponed. New York at Baltimore, postponed. Washington at New York, postponed.
Most important one is Washington at New York, as the Mets try to get home field advantage. The Dodgers still in that race.
And John Heyman reports that Matt Williams is gone. Last year's National League Manager of the Year.
Not terribly surprising.
That ball hit hard. Oh boy, that's a shame. That is a definite hang. Yet another hang whiffle for Melky.
That's just about as hard as you can hit the ball, and that does typify this particular year for Melky. Melky hitting the 270s. It would have been a lot better for him because he hit the ball much better than that. But he's hit a lot of line drives right at people. And
more
that
than
was a
anybody on
rocket.
this ball club. He had that one streak there for about almost 2 months that I don't think I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was before he really started hitting. I mean, the batting average was in the 230s, and every line drive he hit, it looked like there were 15 fielders out there. Then they started to fall for him.
Here's Trace. 2 ground outs. And he takes on away ball 1. Pops it up right side. JD is there, makes the catch. Route number 2. One and one to count. Bottom of the 7th in Cleveland. 8-2 Indians over Boston. Top of the 6th in Minnesota. Kansas City tied at 1 with Minnesota. Adam goes into 3rd. Alexi gets back in at 1st.
If that ball hadn't have bounced off Doug Eddings, it would have gotten away and both runners would have been able to advance. I believe it hit Eddings in the foot. Looks like it was going by. Heads up base running by Adam Eaton. Alexi manages not to get picked off at 1st.
Now Romine, who's not a first baseman, was playing back. Somebody yelled, "Hey, hold him on." And McCann was giving his signs in case Alexei takes off. Good concept, no execution. Chopper right to the bag, and that'll retire the side. We get the first 2 men aboard, can't do anything with it.
Photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Chris Sale's still in the game. He's got that very thin 1-run lead.
So here's Marte. He has accounted for the lone Tiger run with his 4th homer, leading off the 2nd inning. Count evens at 1. That's at the top of the zone at 94. Chris' first pitch of the ball game was at 97.
And then he got to 98 in the first inning. That's the hardest we've seen him throw. He came out heavily amped for this one, as you would expect, going for the all-time White Sox record. So he got it with McCann, the second hitter in the 2nd inning. Now he's throttled back some, but hitting his spots real well.
Full count. Off the end of the bat. One out. And make your plans to be with us tomorrow night, game 2 of this final set of the season. It'll be Eric Johnson against Justin Verlander. If you can't make it to the park, the game will be over WGN. Then on Sunday in the finale, southpaw Daniel Norris against hard-throwing right-hander Frankie Montas. And that game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. As McCann's retired, he's now 0 for 3. 2 down.
Chris Sale's pitching line is sponsored by American Sale, and it's been pretty impressive. 6 2/3, the 4 hits, just 1 earned run, 1 lone walk, and 7 strikeouts. Remember that game tomorrow at 6:10 instead of the usual 7:10 start. And Sunday, it's at 2:10, and the reason is that this year, unlike any other year, I believe in the history of this game, every Sunday game will start at the same time. And the reason for that is pretty simple. They didn't want any team to have an advantage, the West Coast team, going for postseason play. They want them, if they're going to pitch their number 1 guy or their number 2 guy, whoever it is, they don't want him to then sit him, have an advantage going into the playoffs. So everybody will play at the same time, and scheduled pitchers will pitch as they're scheduled. You won't get an advantage by playing later than anybody on the East Coast.
Past posting, huh?
Yep. Won't be any of that. Not anymore.
Here's a 1-2. That ball hit well into right field. JB. Yes!
He bobbled it. It popped out of his glove, and then he caught it with his bare hand.
Yes! What a play by Shuck. Fighting the wind,
the rain, the sleet, and everything else. Watch this. The ball pops up. He catches it with his bare hand. What a play by J.B. Shuck. Wow.
One of the best you'll ever see.
Play, Chris Sale. And certainly appreciate that. The starting pitcher always does. Very much like Jeff Samardzija when Trace Thompson made that great diving grab in left field. Chris Sale.
I think JB's maybe one-upped him a little bit there.
Boy, when you consider the wind and
that's
running
exactly
straight
why.
back and making that play, wow.
That was the wind, and he stayed right with it. Got a great jump. Had to go a long way and use both hands to catch it. One at a time.
Pretty impressive.
It was. That's one of the best you'll see. And that is fouled down to Debo. I love good defense. Wow. Name of the game. Offense puts fannies in seats. Defense wins championships. As he makes a nice play. Rajay Davis.
Let's take another look at JB's defensive gem. He was also a flat-out dive as he was approaching the track. Then when he hit the ground, the ball popped up, fortunately right into the bare hand. And it so often happens when a guy makes a great catch, he does not come to bat the next inning.
Players are starting to. Alex Gordon starting to use different colored soles on their spikes. JB's got gold and Alex Gordon had silver. I like the silver when it was going out, running out to the outfield.
It's a good look.
It was a real good look. Tyler 1 for 2, a single, leading off the 5th. Start us off with 1 out here, Tyler. Two and two the count. Sanchez on deck.
You know, considering the weather and neither team in the race, not a bad crowd.
Not bad at all.
Because this is some pretty tough conditions with the wind and the cold.
A little over 18,000. Full count to Flowers. Good take on a close pitch. That is the first walk issued by Alfredo. And here's Carlos. He singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. Started off that 2-run 3rd. Up the middle. He's going to get the force of Tyler.
Pretty good play by Machado, realizing that you can't even think about 2, and knowing once you pass the bag, your best shot is to come back, tag it with your glove. We saw Hosmer end the ball game last night doing something similar, and Machado just reaches out, gets the force, because it's really the best thing he could do.
Well, with a left-hander hitter with decent speed, a lot easier for him to go that way.
Yep.
Here's Saladino. 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch, and he scored back in the 3rd. Makes first pitch strike. Houston scored 3 in the 1st. Out at Phoenix. feedback 78 and 81 coming in. Bottom of 6 in Arlington. Angels and Rangers are tied at 1.
There's Matt Albers starting to loosen in the pen.
Two out. Sanchez at first, 1-2 the count on Saladino. Easy pick right there for Romine, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 8th, leading 2-1.
And here's our Miller moment, and it can be none other than Chris Sale looking for the all-time White Sox strikeout record. There's one, there's two, and there's a third strike taken over the outside corner, and James McCann goes down, and there is the record, eclipsing Ed Walsh back in 1908. Congratulations, Chris Sale.
As I said many times, besides being a very, very talented pitcher, there's that ball down into the corner. So Josh Wilson will lead it off with a double. Chris Sale, one of the, besides being a great pitcher, one of the nicest young men you ever want to meet.
Second hit of the night for Wilson, and he just reaches out, takes it just over Saladino's head. And that is a tying run.
2-5-0 for us, 1-5-0 for them. So here's Gose. He had a 2-out double, ground rule double back in the 5th inning.
Hit him.
Go to first base, says Doug Eddings.
Lets this slider get away from him and barely got the back of the leg here on the hamstring area, and here comes
Robin's going to make the call to the pen, so Chris Sale goes 7+. 2 runners on his responsibility. He does break the franchise record for season strikeouts. He had 7 tonight. He needed 3 to break it. He'll depart, and we'll be back.
At U.S. Cellular Field. It's accessible from the 100, 300, and 500 levels. There's batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and more skill instruction. It's all from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And Chris Sale's night is done. His season is over. And Matt Alberts, our Honda, called to the pen on for the 30th time. He's 2-0 his ERA. A shrinking 124. He inherits some problems. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Top of the order up in the very speedy Rajai Davis.
So Saladino at the cut of the grass at third. Adam in on the grass, looking for the bunt. It's always nice to see that pitcher give you a little help by either a quick step off or just some sort of a move.
Davis is not much of a sacrifice bunter. He only has 1 this year. And maybe that's why. That pitch was right over the middle of the plate. And he chopped down on it.
Yeah, he sort of put a little funny action on it. Outfield slightly to the right. So Osmus takes it off.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brad Osmus, after taking a look at that first bunt attempt, decided to let him swing.
Count hangs at 0-2. Wilson at second. Goes at first. High in the right field. Fighting that wind once again. He's going to tag, and first thing you got to do in conditions like this is catch the ball. You can't, with that wind howling, and here comes Coop. You can't be going back and getting set and coming through it as easily as when there's no wind.
No, that's for sure. Well, unlike Rajai Davis, Romine is a good bunter, especially from the left side, where he's had all 4 of his sacrifices. So Zach Duke loosening in the pen.
Just tuning in, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, not in the lineup tonight. So here we go. Runners at the corners, 1 out, and a 2-1 Sox lead here in the top of the 8th inning. Goes 23 stolen bases, but he's been thrown out 11 times. And that is into left. He's going to get in shape. And here's the throw. He would have been a gone goose. So Trace, on that low line drive, got in terrific position to make a throw.
You got to tag up, and then you at least have to make it look like you're coming to force a throw. He had no chance of making it, even though that throw was off the mark. He was shaking his head, but he wasn't going to get there.
No, he had no chance. When that third base coach sees that left fielder getting that quick a shape to throw, he's not going anywhere. So here is the man in this lineup, JD Martinez, 0 for 2 with a walk.
Well, that wind is just howling in, and it's killing right in the eyes of Martinez.
It's a swirl.
It's pretty tough.
There are a lot of center fielders will tell you this is when the wind's blowing hard. This is the toughest center field in the American League to play.
Well, because you look at those flags and you can't really tell the effect of the baseball by the direction of the flags because it's swirling.
Well, there was a few when it was first opened here. It was almost like it was the opposite of the way the flags were blowing because of the swirl. Now, the last couple of years, it seems like you can get some sort of a read off of them. But this howling.
Saladino. I love defense. So Albers pitches out of it. We still lead it 2-1. Let's take another look.
Adam is 2 for 2 with a 2-run double. A single also, and there's a chopper 2 hopper. Guns it over. Had a little trouble finding the ears on it, but a good arm, and that's out number 1. So Peter Winfrey and Dr. Tracy Williams picked the click. Adam Eaton is retired. And here's Alexei. Alexei 1 for 3. That ball hit high into left center field. You have absolutely, if you're going to go out that way, you have absolutely got to get every bit of it.
Time now for AT&T Uverse Multiview. And it's a real interesting situation for Matt Albers. He comes in, or he thinks he's in. Then he stops. Wait a second. Am I really in? No, I don't know. What do you think, guys? Am I in? Geez, I'm not sure. Well, I'll come back. No, Chris is leaving. Well, I'm the only one here, so that means that I do indeed come in. And come in he did, and get out of a first and second nobody out jam. Something he's done the entire second half.
Well, we talked about it. He is the unsung hero in that bullpen. There's a strike.
We're going to really put you to the test tonight. You being the judge in all of this pick to click. You loving defense as you do, and I know you do. My pick to click does not have a hit, but a spectacular defensive play, which I think, in essence, turns the tide of the entire pick to click scenario.
Well, not exactly. Oh, look at that play. Another good play. Exactly. And that'll retire the side. We're going to the 9th inning, leading 2-1.
Exclusive White Sox content all year long, including news and video updates, ticket offers, breaking alerts, and more. Visit whitesox.com/blacklist to register today. And remember, it's free. And David Robertson comes into the ball game. On for the 60th time. He's 6-5. His ERA just under 3.5. Looking for save 34. And this is 41st opportunity.
Nick Castellanos. And First pitch strike. Nick 0 for 3. Lexi made a good play to get him back in the 6th inning. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for us. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for them. Oh, and 2. Throw it right underneath his hands. He gone. Got it on the corner.
Could have gone either way. It went David's way, and Castellanos, a big hitter, is down on strikes.
So here's Jeffrey Marte. His home run, leading off the 2nd inning. Gap out there in left center. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a knee buckler.
Yeah, it was.
Take a look at the knees of Marte. His curveball. He jumps back, and that one has a whole inside corner.
Well, he's not the only one his knees is going to buckle on that one.
No, that was a good one.
No walks. 3-1 to count. Got McCann on deck. And a full count.
David got away with on that one right down the middle. Marte, who does have a home run tonight, leading off the 2nd inning. Fouled it straight back.
And the payoff pitch. He got a break there.
Yeah, it's real cold and windy, and the game doesn't mean a great deal, so take a seat, Paul. Toyota pitch tracks will show you it's just a touch inside.
And if you're just tuning in, Chris Sale needed 3 strikeouts to break the franchise record for strikeouts in the season over Big Ed Walsh, and he got 7 tonight. So here's McCann. He's 0 for 3, and he takes first pitch strike. One and 1 to count. One and 2 the count. crowd on hand in this weather. A little over 18,000. And here is the 1-2 pitch. That is high in the center field. When this ball comes down, this game will be over. So the Sox and Chris Sale beat the Tigers 2-1. And let's check out our player of the game. It is our 26-year-old